Well, it's a very warm welcome back to a second half independent off-tube studio commentary. It's the game at the Brentford Community Stadium as Brentford trail against Chelsea by a goal to nil. Ben Chilwell giving Chelsea the lead just before half-time. Chelsea dominating the first half in terms of possession. Not having too many chances, but certainly would have felt as though they were value for that 1-0 lead. Brentford, for their part, had a few moments where they could have perhaps troubled the visitors. But overall, not enough attacking possession, I don't really feel, from Brentford in that first half. They've been disappointed to have conceded that goal late on. But Chelsea straight away on the attack now at the start of this second half with Kante finding Kovacic. Now it's Werner just dropping away from the edge of the penalty area, back to Ruben Loftus-Cheek. And then Sarr joining the attack, going out towards the goal scorer Chilwell down the left-hand side. The ball now back around about the halfway line here with Loftus-Cheek. And he goes square to Trevor Chalobah. Chalobah with a bit of space now down the right-hand side. Inside towards Azpilicueta. Ball now back on the halfway line. So it's myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz and John Hogan taking you through the action in this game. And John, that's a goal for Chelsea just before half-time. Really has set them up now for this second half.
Yeah, it sure has. I thought that Chelsea was slightly a better team. But when you looked at the stats before the goal, it was about shots off target and about neither keeper having nothing to do, really. I mean, Mendy watched the one onto his post. He wouldn't have been there to save it. So Brentford were a little bit unlucky there. But got to say, it was mistakes for the goal. Chilwell walked into a position where he wasn't marked, right inside the D, waiting for the ball. It's like waiting in Steve Gerrard territory for the ball to come to you, and then you're going to hit a good strike. It was a good left foot strike, wasn't it, on the half volley? A really good strike. But he was unmarked, and Brentford had enough bodies back to account for that, so they'll be disappointed.
Well, here come Chelsea now with a bit of space for Kovacic, getting towards the penalty area, then finds Kante. He was being closed down by Tony, goes back towards Ruben Loftus-Cheek. And now it's with Timo Werner, right-hand edge of the penalty area, been marked by Jensen, but he gets away from him, goes all the way to the byline, puts a cross in as well. And it's Ethan Pinnock standing up, Werner, and that goes out for a corner. I'll just remind you of the Brentford 11 before this Chelsea corner. It is David Raya in goal, back three of Zanka Jorgensen, Pontus Jansson and Ethan Pinnock. Five across the middle, Sergi Canos, Matthias Jensen, Christian Norgard, Frank Onyeka and Rico Henry, with Brian Mbuemo and Ivan Toney as the two up front. I'll do the Chelsea 11 in just a moment. We're going to see this corner kick first, and it's Ben Chilwell standing over this one. He sends it towards that edge of the 6-yard box. It's headed away to the edge of the area. Kovacic leaning back and sending a shot many, many yards over the bar. No problems for Raya with that one. So for Chelsea, Edouard Mendy is in goal. It's a back three of Trevor Chalobah, Andreas Christensen and Malang Sarr. The two wide men are Cesar Azpilicueta and Ben Chilwell. The three in midfield, N'Golo Kante, Mateo Kovacic and Ruben Loftus-Cheek, with Timo Werner and Romelu Lukaku as the two up front. It's clearance now from Raya, and that's straight through to Sarr. Brentford pretty much giving away possession there. And it's with Ben Chilwell now. Going back towards Sarr. From Brentford's point of view, I mean, just as I say, that was a bit of a loose ball from Christensen, but Chalobah should still be able to keep that in play. Goes back towards Mendy. Heavy touch from him as well. He's been closed down by Mbuemo, but he clears it down the middle. Pontus Jansson with the header. Frank Onyeka has now got a bandage around his head after that collision with Loftus-Cheek in the first half. He then finds Jensen. It's Rico Henry now down the left here for Brentford. His ball back to Jensen as Kante gets in the way of that and then draws the foul as well. It's a good play there from Kante just to slow things down.
Yeah, he read it ever so well there. Rico Henry was down a blind alley and he only had one route out, and Kante just reads the only ball he could play. He's going to get on it, and then he was brought down. He's just a fantastic player, N'Golo Kante, and yeah, like I say, I think to some degree, they're messing about with him, really, playing him further advanced. Here comes Chilwell again.
Well, it's a great run from Chilwell when he gets the ball to Lukaku. First time ball into the box, looking for Werner. It was the right idea, probably just a yard short there from Lukaku to give Werner a real chance of getting on the end of that. But it's Chilwell who starts this run in his own half. Brentford just afraid to put a challenge in, and it's a good ball from Lukaku, well read by Pinnock.
Ben Chilwell today is that left wing back, a bit of a revelation, isn't he? Because he keeps coming inside, and you think, well, what are you doing? What he's doing is he's creeping away from his marker and putting in some good work, isn't he? So that's a clever wrinkle today from Thomas Tuchel.
It is, yes, and as I think Tuchel made the comment earlier this season, didn't he, that he needs to see a little bit more from Chilwell. Yeah, it's always a bit of a question mark when a manager sort of calls a player in public out like that, but of course he does have a bigger thought in mind than Thomas Tuchel. The idea is to try and draw that better form out from Chilwell, and certainly every indication in today's game that he's playing very, very well. He was one of the 3 goal scorers when Chelsea beat Southampton 3-1 before the international break. But it is Brentford in possession, trying to play out from the back here now with Rico Henry. His pass is not really a pass, it's a clearance down the left-hand side really, and Shalabah will get there first for Chelsea, going back towards Edouard Mendy. Over towards Malang Sarr now on the left-hand side. So Chelsea now playing around. Just to remind you of the scores earlier today, Watford are losing at 5-0 at home to Liverpool. Aston Villa losing 3-2 at home to Wolves, having led 2-0 at one stage in that game. Leicester City beating Manchester United 4-2. Man City beating Burnley 2-0. With Norwich and Brighton 0-0, Southampton beating Leeds by a goal to 0. So those are all the scores in today's games. Chelsea, in the meantime, did get forward, almost broke into the penalty area, but it is cleared only into midfield. Kante now leaving the ball for Loftus-Cheek. And there's some space for Azpilicueta. He gets the ball onto his left foot, puts a cross in. Good header away by Pinnock. And then Mbeumo heads it to Tony. Heavy touch, though, from the Brentford front man. He tries to close the ball down to rectify his mistake. But it is Chelsea in possession. Christensen going down the left towards Chilwell, who couldn't quite keep that in play.
Yeah, they look quite impressive this half, don't they? Again, we talk about them with the ball and the movement's great. It's when they're put under pressure, when they have to defend, they do look a little bit all over the place, but at the moment, Tuchel's men are dominating possession in territory, and that's keeping the bees at bay.
It is, as that throw on taken there on Onyeka. Gets the ball back from Jorgensen. Chilwell expecting a free kick, doesn't get it. Tony probably expecting a free kick, also doesn't get it. Loftus-Cheek under pressure there from Norgard, loses the ball, and now a chance here for Mbeumo to chase this one down. But Malang Sarr, he's strong and he's fast. Mbeumo can't get past his fellow countryman on that occasion. The ball now back with Christensen over on the right-hand side, playing a quick 1-2 with Kante, who carries on his run. Now they get Timo Werner into the action as well. He gets clips on the halfway line. Referee quite rightly plays the advantage because Chelsea still keep the ball alive. But then the ball down the left-hand channel to Chilwell. The idea was right because Chilwell was completely unmarked, but the pass was about 10 yards too long.
Some of the passing from Chelsea hasn't been that good. Movement generally is pretty good. But, they're far away from their majestic best today, Chelsea, but they're doing just enough. I'm not sure that one goal is going to be enough today. I think the Bees have probably got a goal in them, but they'll have to play a little bit better and get on the ball a little bit more. Yeah,
and get on that ball further up the field as well. We've hardly seen any Brentford possession in the Chelsea half in this second half, but now a long ball down the right-hand side. Canos hits the deck. Don't think he was ever going to get a free kick there, and so despite the linesman being very close, he wasn't interested. And now Loftus-Cheek in possession for Chelsea goes to Chilwell, back towards Andreas Christensen, and we can see second half possession stat. We've only had 8 minutes of the second half, but it's 80% for Chelsea, just 20 for Brentford. And if it stays like that for any length of time, then Brentford aren't going to get any closer, just won't have enough of the ball.
No, that's right, and they're having to work hard not to get the ball, aren't they? Chelsea with the ball have been good. I mean, that's the thing. I might not be the biggest fan of Timo Werner, but he just works and works and works. He's relentless. You know, you've got that work rate in the middle, Kovacic, and then Kante. I might not be a fan of him, the way they set up at the minute, but one thing is tremendous work rate from them.
Certainly is. You certainly can't deny the work rate. And once again, limited possession there for Brentford. Just the ball played forward. Once again, Chelsea have it back here with Kovacic over towards Chilwell now down the left-hand side. He's got Canos and Onyeka trying to block him, but Chilwell lays the ball off to Timo Werner. And there's that poor passing that John just mentioned. Despite Chelsea having a lot of the ball, if they were just a bit more precise with their passing, they should probably have a much bigger lead now.
I think it's Chilwell's running into an acre of space, isn't he? He didn't need a lob wedge over the top. He just needed a, simple ball through. But they're playing with destructive players. They're playing with Loftus-Cheek's a dribbler and Kante's a reader of the game. Kovacic's a water carrier. But where's the passer? I don't think the balance of the team's quite right. But at the moment, it's enough.
Certainly is enough. 55 minutes gone, coming up to 55 minutes gone. Independent off-tube studio commentary. It is Brentford 0, Chelsea 1. It's a flick on there from Mbeumo for Tony to chase. That's not the best header there from Malang Sarr. Now, it does give Tony a chance to chase this down. He needs some support. Leaves it for Rico Henry now. Henry trying to dance past Aspilicueta. Can't dance past Chalobah, though. And Chelsea have the ball back now with Kante going back to Chalobah, back towards the goalkeeper, Edouard Mendy. Long clearance for him. That's a good header from Pontus Jansson to find Frank Onyeka. And Brentford now back in possession here with Matthias Jensen. Plays it forward now for Ivan Toney, who's had his shirt pulled there time and time again. I'm quite surprised the referee let that go. Finally, the referee decides that there was a free kick. I'm not actually sure that there was a free kick there when Chalobah and Toney hit the deck a moment earlier. But it looks like he's not gone back for the first foul. He's just given it for when Chalobah and Toney both hit the deck.
Surely if you folded somebody's shirt for more than a second, it's a free kick. You know, no doubt Chalobah's got him there. Maybe Anthony Taylor's unsighted, but then you expect his assistant maybe to help him out. It's a clear free kick, and Tony's just saying, look, all right, what do you want? What's going to make you give that? Anyway, he's got his free kick, rightly so.
He does, and it's about 35 yards, maybe 40 yards out, over on the left-hand side. Tony just needing a moment to pick himself up there. But he's going to be okay to play on. That's certainly not within shooting range here for Bryan Mbeumo, and he's a left footer, and it's on the left-hand side as well. So he's going to be looking for a cross. But no surprise that Chelsea have got an offside line that's outside the penalty area. So Brentford do have to watch this as this free kick is taken now by Mbeumo. He lifts it towards the right-hand edge of the penalty area, headed up in the air by Chalobah, and Pinnock is going to just let this go out because it's going to go out for a Brentford corner. So now they've got a much better chance now from this set piece. And so they can leave the big men up for this one. Just see how Brentford set up here. Edouard Mendy just trying to get his defence organised as well. As Matthias Jensen comes across to take this, he is a right footer, so it's going to be an outswinger unless he uses Mbeumo there for the short ball. I must admit, I probably prefer to have Mbeumo inside the penalty area, really, if he's not going to be involved in a short corner. But it is Matthias Jensen. He lifts that one towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Header away by Loftus-Cheek. The second ball pumped back in and finds Canos. Canos' ball into the box is headed away. Ends up with Jensen now. His ball into the box is too low, and it's eventually volleyed away by Kovacic back towards the halfway line. But Canos suddenly with acres of space inside the penalty area. Again,
a well-worked routine, isn't it? They've got bodies in there, and again, it's some ball watching from Chelsea at the back. I thought Canos might go for a strike, then just go for power. I think he might have preferred to do that, knowing that his cross was, going to find a blue shirt and be headed away, but he all opened up for him.
He certainly did, and the ball on the halfway line now lost here as Brentford have it back. Just a little bit more of a spring in the step for the Bees now as Onyeka carries on his run down the right-hand side. It's a strong challenge, but it's a fair challenge, says the referee and the linesman. And Brentford asking the question, but Anthony Taylor quite confident there in saying that they won the ball.
He did win the ball, but I just think sliding through like that, you can't do that anymore. That it's a tackle from yesteryear where he's sliding through the man to get the ball. So I think they should have got a free kick there, Brentford.
Yeah, they certainly would have been looking for it, but after that Chelsea throw, the Bees win it back quickly. But that's poor from Pontus Jansson, just volleys that one straight down the middle of the field. But then it's a poor touch from Kovacic. Almost lost the ball to Mbeumo, but Kovacic did well to recover his mistake. The ball is back on the halfway line with Brentford in possession. Sergi Canos going back towards Pontus Jansson. It's with Ethan Pinnock over towards Rico Henry now down the left-hand side. He rolls the ball back towards goalkeeper David Raya. And Raya looking up for options here, just plays the ball in towards Norgard, back to Janssen. As Brentford now not wanting to clear this long straightaway, but also need to try and keep that pace up in the attack that they've had in the last few minutes. They don't want to start sitting back too much. Raya then finding Canos down the right-hand side. Zanka Jorgensen sends a ball over the top. Tony brought down just at the edge of the area. He feels as though that was an obvious foul, and he's screaming towards referee Anthony Taylor now, but the referee not interested.
You see, that for me is good centre-back play, but equally, referee's got to be alive to that. When the ball's coming a long way like that, Chalobah, first thing that he would want to do is make contact while the referee's not looking, while nobody's really looking at him, get the first contact in. Next thing is, it's likely that Tony's going to be retaliating and the referee will see that In fact, the referee didn't see anything, did he? I think it's pretty shrewd defending. I'm not saying it wasn't a foul, though, but I think if you do it long before the ball gets to you, you've got a good chance of getting away with it.
You certainly do, and that one is one of those where I think that's Szczerbakowicz again. We'll see the replay now. Is there an argument to say that Szczerbakowicz is fouling Ivan Toney?
Well, across his back legs there,
he
mate.
He did, yeah.
And that's a definite foul and free kick and yellow card. You know, Tony's absolutely incandescent with range, and you would be. And they've got to spot these things. You know,
they do, but then at the same time, you know, Ivan Toney isn't playing in his first game. He must have had games before where decisions haven't gone against him. He has to. I know that he's going to try and get get his thoughts across to the referee, but at the same time, he's got to just be mindful of the fact there's still half an hour to play in this game. As Mendy takes a heavy touch, Toney closes him down. Mendy slices his clearance. It's a Brentford throw. That's exactly what Toney needs to be doing.
Yeah, well, he's used that, indignation to fuel his battery there. To go and close down the keeper as quick as he can and hunt up the mistake. And he did, didn't he? And he really put Edouard Mendy under pressure. You know, for Tony, you could be in a million games, couldn't you? And if what you've done is just crept past the centre-back who's marking you, and then you're running through on goal you brought down, you're always going to be mad. You're always going to be mad. And he hasn't let it go yet, has he?
No, he hasn't. And it's always interesting when you see the referee with such passion defending his decision there as well, as Cesar Szczerbakowicz, just to try and speed things up here. His goalkeeper's taking a little bit of a long time to take his gloves off to tie up his laces. So now Szczerbakowicz, being the very responsible captain there, coming across to help out. As we can see, Thomas Frank and his assistant there in discussion as to what they should be doing next in terms of a potential substitution. But it's a throw to Brentford after that miss-kick clearance from Mendy. It's with Zanka Jorgensen, square now to Norgard. Jorgensen's pass is charged down this time by Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and it's Pontus Jansson with the header. Picked up here in midfield now by Christian Norgard. Norgard's ball forward towards Mbuemo. Both Loftus-Cheek and Jensen jump for it, but it's Chelsea that come away with it. Kovacic's ball now looking for the run of Werner. Well spotted by Jansson. Pontus Jansson now going back towards David Raya. And now it's on the right-hand side here for Brentford, but still plenty of blue Chelsea shirts trying to close down as the ball goes back towards Raya. He was being closed down there by Lukaku. Ball reaches the halfway line, and it's Szczerbakowicz who finds Kante. What a great turn that is as the ball is played into the penalty area. And I'll tell you what, that's an absolutely crucial intervention there from Jorgensen, because Werner was waiting.
Yeah, thank you, Jorgensen. They're just stretching as far as he could. Brilliant stuff from N'Golo Kante in the middle, and not a bad-looking ball. But this time, Zanka is there. I didn't really take to him when he was at Huddersfield, Zanka Jorgensen. The best thing he ever did was buy a pint for all the travelling Huddersfield fans. I think it cost him about $6,000, didn't it, when he bought a pint for all the travelling Huddersfield fans anyway. Yeah, he did really well there, and that was a timely intervention, because I think 2-0 this game's dead and buried.
Yeah, I think that certainly Brentford can't afford to concede again. Both teams getting ready to make midfield changes. Mason Mount's ready to come on for Chelsea, and Iranian international Sam Ghoddos is getting ready to come on for Brentford. But here's a ball down the right-hand side here for the Bees. Canos is chasing, but Christensen gets there first. He does well. Not only does he get the ball away from Canos, but he gets the ball to Chilwell, who then tries to skip away from Mbuemo, who brings him down. Mbuemo there wagging the finger, not agreeing with that decision, but it's not going to change the referee's mind. It will be a free kick to Chelsea, and a chance for Chelsea just to try and slow things down. Brentford are seeing more of the ball in the last 5-7 minutes or so, but still difficult for the Beast to get close to that penalty area.
Yeah, I'd like to see him go through up top and maybe get Ghoddos involved. He's a winger, isn't he, really? But
winger or number 10, absolutely, yeah. So
yes.
one of those two roles, if you would imagine be coming in for him. As that long ball now almost gets through to Lukaku. Last-ditch header there from Pinnock, and Jorgensen can't sweep up the loose ball. It's now with Chilwell. He lifts that one into the box. It's far too high for Lukaku, and Rico Henry can't let it go because Szczerbakowicz is there as well. So the Brentford number 3 now volleys this one towards the halfway line, where Toney is being tripped there by Szczerbakowicz, and that is a free kick to Brentford, which Toney wants to take quickly.
Yeah, Szczerbakowicz again tangling with Toney, as we're going to see Mason Mount come on, and then probably Ghoddos as well.
Absolutely. So it looks like Mason Mount is going to be the first change. It's a swap for Mateo Kovacic, Kovacic, the only Chelsea player on a yellow card as well, so it makes sense perhaps that he should be the one to go off. But this could be a worry for Brentford because it means that Thomas Tuchel is actually trying to just spice up that attack now with 26 minutes still to play.
Yeah, get game time into Mount as well and all those things. You know, Brentford in the Championship were a bit more dynamic, weren't they, playing with a front three and all that, and it looks like they're going to make a double change now. They're going to get nothing for losing 1-0, are they? You know, I saw that interview with David Raya early in the day on Football Focus, and he said they don't really fear anybody. They go out there and they want to win every game they play in, and they're not different playing Chelsea, are they? I thought the Chelsea lineup today gave them a chance, but you know, they're a goal down, they need to get goals, they need to attack, and so they're going to bring attacking players on.
Yeah, that's right. Marcus Forss is the other player ready to come on, the young Finnish international. So we'll wait to see whether it's just a like-for-like swap for one of the strikers or if Thomas Frank wants to bring off a midfielder. But now Chelsea on the attack with Lukaku down the left, a cross coming in, he lifts that too high, and I think there's actually a delayed offside flag gone up in the meantime as well. You can see Pontus Jansson screaming at the linesman there. I know that frustrates footballers these days, that with the VAR sometimes taking a bit longer, you end up losing a few seconds of play with that move there. Lukaku clearly by 2 or 3 yards is offside there, and perhaps the linesman could have thought about giving that one live anyway, but it is now a Brentford free kick. We've just seen Mason Mount come on for Mateo Kovacic, and now Brentford are making a change, and it's an attacking change. Central midfielder Frank Onyeka is going off to be replaced by Marcus Forss, who's got number 9 on his back.
Yep, and he's a striker, and didn't he recently get a hat-trick for Finland?
He did. He's had an excellent time of it recently. He was the Championship's top scorer last season off the bench. He got more goals off the bench than anybody else in the Championship last season. So certainly not a bad player to bring on here with 24 minutes to go. And it wasn't in a. Did he score a goal for his national? He didn't score a hat-trick for his national team. He has played for Denmark in the last few weeks, but he did actually get 4 goals for Brentford in a hammering of Oldham Athletic in the Carabao Cup earlier this season.
I knew I'd seen his name recently, and he'd got a few goals. But it must have been that, rather than playing for Finland, where it's still Pukki, isn't it?
Yeah, Pukki's the main man. He's become the all-time top goal scorer in Finnish for the Finnish national team now, Teemu Pukki, but still struggling to get anything for Norwich this season. That's another game today where Norwich have gone without a win.
I tell you what, he might be the all-time top scorer, but he's no Jari Litmanen, is he? Let's face it.
No. Litmanen can carry the ball as well. Pukki's more of a finisher, isn't he? Litmanen was very much more your sort of number 10 creative player who could also play as a striker. Certainly one of the better players of the 90s. But here come Brentford now, down the left-hand side with Matthias Jensen, just blocked at the edge of the area, feeds Tony. Oh, Tony just couldn't get the ball away, and he couldn't quite get a strike away when you felt as though he was waiting to pull the trigger, and then it's a free kick against Zanka Jorgensen, who swears to the referee that he didn't touch Timo Werner there. Werner and the referee himself, Anthony Taylor, beg to differ, and it is a free kick to Chelsea. But John, why is Tony not shooting here?
I don't know, maybe he feels that there's too many impediments there. 3 blockers come in. Maybe he can't get his shot away. Maybe he should have been looking to hang on to it. Right foot drag onto a left foot strike, the way that they're coming to block it. But look how Mount's there. He does such a good job, both going forward and back, Mason Mount. Terrific player. But we're seeing a bit more from Brentford, aren't we now? We
are, and perhaps Chelsea just guilty of sitting back a little bit too much. But now N'Golo Kante brings the ball forward and goes square now to Mason Mount. We saw him working well in defence a moment ago. Now can he do something in attack for Chelsea? Plenty of space for him down the left. He feeds the ball to Chilwell, who just stops his run. Lukaku with his arms up. He wanted that cross a bit earlier there. The Chelsea number 9. It's played back towards Malang Sarr. Sarr under pressure there from Mbeumo, going back towards the halfway line here for Andreas Christensen, and then he goes square to Trevor Chalobah, being closed down by Ivan Toney, as is Azpilicueta, and Toney just about does enough to put off Azpilicueta. Rico Henry now picks the ball up for Brentford, and his pass down the left-hand side for Mbeumo, just a little bit too short, but it's a bouncing ball from Sarr back to Mendy. So that was encouragement for Mbeumo, but Chelsea keep possession. It's 69 minutes gone, independent off-tube studio commentary, and it's going to be John Hogan to take us through to full time.
Yeah, it's been a good second half, hasn't it? A bit more cut and trust. I thought that Chelsea were, by a long way the better team in the first half, but Brentford are giving a right good goal this second period. A lot of it without the ball early doors, but they got back into it. Here's a chance though. Timo Werner, shot blocked away, drops to Lukaku, and from what? 5 yards, he blazes over the top. That would have been the game.
That would have been the game. Disappointing there from Lukaku, and he certainly has a disappointed look on his face as well. He knows that was a great chance to really put Chelsea in a almost unassailable position really in this game in terms of losing potentially. A second goal really would be too much for Brentford, but as we see, potentially one leg there from Lukaku offside had he scored.
Yeah, Timo Werner's shot then breaks to him, but I think you're right, he was a leg offside there. Initially, he did well to shield the ball for Werner's shot, didn't he? But like you said, he just broke off. Anyway, here is Mbeumo now, ball into box, looking for Tony. If only he believed that ball was going to get to him. Because what happens is Malang Sarr comes across to deal with him, and he steps over the ball. If Tony got his wits about him there, rather than playing the man looking for the ball, he might have been able to get through. But in the end, the ball rolls through to Mendy.
Gets through to Mendy as we see this run from Mbeumo down the left-hand side. It wasn't a bad idea, but again, just enough there from Sarr just to try and shepherd that ball away from Tony.
Yeah, he's had a decent game, hasn't he, Malang Sarr? He's quick and strong. But like we said, a lot of it's down to positional play, and I don't think the back three for Chelsea have been foolproof. A little bit too much ball watching from them. But Brentford haven't given up yet. Long sweeping ball into the box headed away by Malang Sarr. He's not actually the tallest. He's just 6 foot, Sarr. So that might be another feature there. You get plenty of tall strikers nowadays. You know, at 6'2" and 6'3", you'd fancy you might just beat him in the air. Brentford good at getting those matchups where they've just got somebody a little bit taller into the box. Anyway, ball flicked over the top, but cleared away by that man Sarr down the left-hand side. Chilwell nowhere to be seen there, but Sarr just happy to put that into the stand. And so we're going to see Sam Godos come on sooner rather than later, it would appear. And he comes on for Canos, who, well, I thought he had a disappointing game, really.
Not quite got into the game, Sergi Canos. He's been that right-sided midfielder for Brentford now for a good 2 or 3 seasons. Really made that role his own, but just couldn't really get into the game today. He's getting some a round of applause there as he walks round the side of the pitch, but I think he would have felt as though he could have done a bit more today.
Going to see a long throw now from Zanke Jorgensen, just about parallel with the edge of the area. Long throw comes in. Pinnock gets the little flick on. Here's the opportunity. Oh, shot saved by Mendy. Tony then with a right foot pile driver. Well, it's a good shot and a good save.
It is a good shot. It is a good save. It's a great throw from Jorgensen to start things off. And then that header on from Pinnock, it drops nicely there to Tony. And this time he doesn't try and take a touch or do anything. He just smashes it towards goal. And it's a really good save from Mendy.
Yeah, he hasn't had much to do, has he, Mendy? Seen one hit the woodwork and just managed to get something on. It was a good shot from Tony. Corner kick taken short now, and a little run around at the edge of the area, and Bueno to the far post. Too far, the ball volleyed back in. It's not been cleared away. It bounces in the box through everybody. It wasn't great defended that by Chelsea. Eventually they clear their lines, and now Werner's herring after the ball. Won't get there. They're unlucky there, and again, it wasn't good defending from Chelsea, was it, at all? We'll just bring Paul into it in a second as the ball's headed on. There may be an opportunity, and Mendy slides out under massive pressure, and wow.
Chelsea just starting to flail a little bit at the back now. I mean, that was a good save from Mendy to stop the initial effort from Tony. Then the second ball coming in after that corner kick. Chelsea clearing their lines eventually, but there was a little bit of pinball inside the penalty area. And Brentford, they're just on a bit of a high now. They need to try and take advantage. Yeah, they do. They've changed their shape so they can get after him a little bit more. I always like an attacking 3 taking on a defensive 3. You can get those one-on-ones. All of a sudden, you're dragging players out of position. You know, here is Godos now. First touch for him. A little mazy dribble by Mbeumo, and then Brentford still have the ball at the edge of the area. Here's a real opportunity. They're through. The shot comes back off the woodwork again. They're at the post. Then maybe a chance for 4. His shot blocked away. Oh, dearie me. How close can you come there to the equaliser? Mendy beaten, but the post still rattled there by that fierce shot. And again, Chelsea all over the place at the back, Paul. Chelsea were all over the place then, and Brentford just getting a little bit more space at the edge of the area then. Very unlucky with that ball striking the post. But again, these last few minutes, Chelsea just look a little bit rattled now. Can Brentford take advantage?
Can they? Norgard with a long ball. Tony wins his header. Force can't get the second ball. Ball won back by Pinnock in the middle of the park, who does a little shimmy in a semicircle, wins that ball back for his teammates. Then Rico Henry, and ball going back to the centre-backs. Then pokes forward. A lovely little flick from Fours. And then a ball played round the corner from Bueno. Won't quite reach him, but stabbed away. Brentford win the ball back. Well, if Chelsea were dominant in the early part of the game, Brentford now just in an awful lot more of the ball and beginning to shift the momentum as they come forward again. Ball onto the chest of Tony. Was he pulled down there? Looked like he was pulled down inside the box. Well, it's offside, but blimey, there, tell you what, Trevor Chalobah.
I think it's almost like the referee was glad to see the linesman's flag because he was probably thinking about whether or not this was a penalty. Obviously, the offside flag overrules everything else. Let's first of all see.
He's on. Surely he's played on there by Malang Sarr on the other side. Wow. He's gambling with his flag there at that point. Puts the flag up because he.
I wonder, John, is VAR looking at this, or have they just said it's offside and that's it? Because once Tony controls this, the arm across from Chalobah, is that enough on its own to say it's a penalty?
He jumps into him and then he pulls him down. If that's a Whittingham or not, you've got to be careful about what you do. Chalobah's dead lucky there. I think the flag that Kai Havertz has just come on, by the way.
He has, yeah. Havertz is on for Chelsea.
That's the reason why the flag shouldn't go up, as Lukaku's the man who's being the sacrifice there for more hard work. I want the flag to stay down, and then I want VAR to sort out any incidents like that. So maybe he's putting the flag up, and that bails out the referee and any thought of looking at that. But I think Malang Sarr may well have played Tony onside there, and then you're just looking at contact. But they decided not to draw lines, aren't they? Borderline decisions like that have not been given, and we've seen some penalties not given this season, which definitely would have been given last year. I'm not certain about what we've just seen, whether it was a penalty or not, but I think it might have needed a longer look than we just got there. Anyway, we're looking at that shot from Mbeumo that's hit the post, and it's a lovely left foot drag shot, isn't it? But he's putting it wide of the keeper. It's come pinging back off the woodwork, and he won't get any closer than that.
No, it was a good effort. Mendy was beaten, but another ball here now for Mbeumo to try and chase down.
But he just shows enough to Chilwell for him to stab it away. But the fans are getting right into it at the Brentford Community Stadium. They've had a brilliant season, started off with that brilliant victory against Arsenal. Still remember that, and they showed it on Football Focus today, that old man blubbing in the stand. But it was very emotional, wasn't it? But anyway, can they lift the roof off the stadium again? They're going to be another long throw from Jorgensen, pretty flat this time. Ball flicked on, then Christensen heads it away, and eventually Havertz tries to spoon it away, but he can't clear his lines. He fights for the ball this time, though. And now it looks like it's going to be another throw. I think maybe a little bit lucky there as Jorgensen dries the ball on his shirt. Another chance to launch it in. Last 5 minutes, 86% possession for Brentford, who are putting the hammer down right now, looking for the equaliser. They've got Chelsea rattled all right. And can Jorgensen deliver a good ball in? We've seen a little flick on from Pinnock at one of these. It nearly got a goal with Tony's shot, but this one flicks off. Kai Havertz breaks the edge of the area. Shot comes in. That's blocked away from Marcus Force's shot at the edge of the area. Just a sea of bodies in there. He's unlucky.
It's almost, John, as though Chelsea are playing with 10 men right now. They're just unable to get out of their own half. Brentford are really piling on the pressure, and it's paying off in so much that at least getting half chances. Just need that one good strike towards goal.
I think it's more positivity, isn't it? They've changed the shape. They've got 3 strikers there now. They're used to playing with 3 strikers. Did it in the Championship a lot. It's not unusual territory for Brentford. And maybe they're just sensing in a 1-goal game that even the mighty Chelsea might just get a little bit nervous. Chelsea taking off Lukaku. They've put hard work in there in Kai Havertz, who's a fine player, but he's just saying we're going to defend. Here they are again, defending the edge of the area. Ball comes in, it's going to bounce into the hands of Mendy.
That's a shame. I mean, Tony actually, with his back to goal, was trying to shield a defender away to let Godos have a better strike at goal, but he could never really get his foot through that and not get enough power. Now it's a question here for Chelsea whether they can finally get the ball away from their own box.
They need to calm down, don't they, and string some passes together. They're doing just that. Ball goes from right to left. In the second half, Brentford have had 5 chances to the 1 of Chelsea. 2 efforts on target. That doesn't include the hitting the post, does it, either? So here now comes Timo Werner, and he finds Azpilicueta just happy to go backwards or forwards, really, but keep the ball. As now N'Golo Kante makes a good move. But he runs into Pinnock, a little semicircle, but again, that's brilliant from N'Golo Kante just to win the ball back. And that's his special power, winning the ball. Now Chalobah, closed down by Tony. The ball will break for Kante again in a clever position. Finds Werner, gets it back. The Frenchman just flicks it with his outstep. Werner then near the byline, just drags it back. Kante just held position on that right hand side. And again looks for Werner. And they can't get the ball off these 2 guys at the minute. Now an opportunity for Loftus-Cheek's gone quiet. The ball goes through. Ryan gets there ahead of Werner, who eventually spills and rolls around, trying to make it look like something I fancy. And the long ball goes out to Mbeumo. And again, I think the Sar's tackling through the back of him there. But anyway, referee's just going to give a throw to Brentford.
Well, I think you're right about Sarr, though, John. If that's the way he's going to be tackling every week, then he's going to get found out eventually, because there's been at least 2 or 3 today where he's won the ball. He's not committed any horrendous fouls. Let's have that right. But there's always a high risk element with that. There's a high failure rate, I think, if you're going to slide in at that sort of pace.
Yeah, it depends what referee, doesn't it? And someone's just not going to give that. And if I was a referee, I'd think, well, no, you can't tackle through somebody anymore. So for me, I'd have probably booked him by now. That would have been his second one tackling through somebody. The players themselves aren't bothered. I think, Brentford are a decent team like that. There's no great big carry on from them. Pontus Jansson has his moments, doesn't he? But I think they're a fair enough team. They're not screaming for free kicks and all that. But like you said, I just think some referees wouldn't like the style of Malang Sarr. Anyway, Chelsea have got the ball. Vital for them that they gain victory here if they're to keep up with the teams at the top of the table, and they would be top with a victory, wouldn't they? I think it's going to be very difficult this season to keep Liverpool and Man City at bay. I think you can pretty much forget everybody else as the ball launched over the top. Brentford had a really good start to the season. A point here would be pretty good if they could make it stick, but they're a goal behind. They've dominated this second period, and today they've hit the woodwork twice. I think you could count that as a little bit of lucky, Paul.
I think so. I think you could say that certainly the response from Brentford in this second half, after Chelsea started well in the second half, I think has been really quite something, and they can certainly take heart from that. It won't be that easy to take heart from that if they were to lose. But looking at these sides' next fixtures, Brentford are at home to Leicester City next Sunday.
Ball breaks here to Mbeumo in the box, an opportunity, great save again. The ball won't quite break for Brentford in the box. It's not been cleared away, still not cleared away. And then the ball hammered off the line by Trevor Chalobah with his keeper down on the deck there. It was like he was glued to the spot. Mendy just couldn't get up. Initially, good save from him. Wowie, how are Brentford not with the equaliser?
Somehow Chelsea still 1-0 up in this game. Fours just touches that onto Godos. Godos puts his foot through it, but it's straight at the goalkeeper. Then it's a great work there from Norgard. Perhaps Norgard could have thought about just flicking that square to Mbeumo rather than trying to hit a sort of delicate curling effort himself, which was then cleared off the line. And you've got to give a lot of credit there to Chalobah for being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, they're dead lucky though, aren't they? Really lucky, Chelsea. Brentford 0, Chelsea 1, but they come on like gangbusters now. They've got a long throw, but that doesn't go into the box. Now a cross comes in, out comes the keeper, punches away, still not being cleared. This half chance for a shot from the edge of the area, but that's good play by N'Golo Kante. And here come Brentford again down left hand side this time with the number 6, Norgard. Now Rico Henry puts a long ball in. They've loaded up the box again. Ball comes in. It's through numbers. Maybe a chance. A shot comes in. Blocked away by Chalobah again. And he's getting his big body in the way. The number 14 all 6'3", another ball just the edge of the box, but this time Mbeumo's a little ball around the corner into the box doesn't quite make it. But the Bees are all over Chelsea at the moment.
They are. We've got 6 minutes to play, plus a bit of injury time, and Brentford spending all their time in the Chelsea half now. Here they come down the right-hand side.
Ball into the box again, hammered away by Sarr. And, it's like the Alamo, this, honestly.
You look at the expressions on those Chelsea players. They all look exhausted, don't they? And the Brentford fans just behind that goal where the Bees are attacking in the second half, really trying to get behind their team. They caused problems with a long throw last time, and Zanka Jorgensen doing what he can, drying the ball as well to get as much grip on it as he can.
That winds me up a little bit. Take too much time with throws, really. It's not a free kick, this, just a throw in anyway. Take it. And again, he throws the ball back. We'll get the ball back from Rico Henry. A chance to put the ball in. Decent looking ball in through bodies, and again it bounces inside the box. Nobody able to take advantage. And again, Brentford recycle the ball at the edge of the area. Godos just flicks the ball in to fight for Pitt. Puts the ball in and shot comes in. What a save by the keeper from close range again. Wowee, charmed life for the Chelsea goal in this second half. Some really good defending again by the left back for Brentford. And again they roll forward. And it's a proper siege at the moment, but this time the ball is cleared away. Chalobah has really played his part in helping his team in this second half. But Brentford unstoppable at the moment. The ball is at one back again in midfield by Norgard, who wags a finger at the Chelsea man, claiming a free kick. Long ball over the top. Here is Tony. Is he onside? Flag didn't go. And he's on the left-hand side, waiting for colleagues. Ball breaks back now for Norgard. I'm getting excited now. Ball to the far post. Headed in. Not cleared. Chalobah over his shoulder. And I'm losing my voice now, so we'll let Paul finish the game off.
No worries then, John. It's Azpilicueta who just lost the ball at the edge of the area. And then we can see Norgard just trying to get on the end of that one. He gets blocked off, leaves it here now for Janssen. Janssen's ball in is stopped there at the edge of the 6-yard box by Mason Mount, who's pretty much come on as an emergency centre-back here for Chelsea rather than an attacking midfielder. We've not seen any kind of attacking play from Mount at all, really. He's had to do so much defending, as now we're going to get another change here. No surprise to see Reece James being prepared here. Reece James to come on for Chelsea. But in the meantime, there's a problem here for Edouard Mendy as well. So Chelsea will need to have a look at this, unless this is a head injury, of course, that would allow Chelsea an additional substitution. And yeah, Mendy gets caught flush in the face there with a right-footed volley from Pontus Jansson from very close range. So if Jansson volleys the ball at you from 3 yards, you're going to know about it.
Yeah, particularly if he falls all over you after he's volleyed the ball into your face. How did that not go in? And Thomas Frank can't believe it. I can't properly got excited then. And I tell you what, I mean, hats off, chapeau to Edouard Mendy, but what a game he's had.
He's had a great game, and probably considering what we saw in the first half, in fact, considering what we saw in the first hour of this match, he probably thought he was going to be one of the quietest players on the field today, but in the last 20 minutes, he's probably been one of the busiest.
Well, they've come alive, haven't they, Brentford? I mean, at times this season we looked at Chelsea, particularly when they were down to 10 men at Anfield, and they're impressive. Anyway. What they've done today is they've been a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde team, haven't they? At times, Brentford couldn't get the ball off them, and they looked good. But the Bees have put another striker on, gone with the front three, and all of a sudden they've torn Chelsea apart. Maybe they've shown a template here of how to play Chelsea.
Absolutely, and interesting that the camera just focusing there on Mateo Kovacic, because Chelsea's problems pretty much have started since he's gone off the field.
That's right. You know, they had all those defensive midfielders, although Mason Mount's come in and done a difficult job. And done a good job defensively as well as going forward. But I think it's more mindset. I think, they're top of the table with a 1-0 victory, and instead of going on getting that second goal, they've shrunk back. Right, we'll defend it. You know, we're good enough. We've got Mendy in goal. We're a back three. We're solid. You know, let's defend what we've got. And it could have come back to bite, because Mendy's had to put in about 3 saves. Chalobah's cleared off the line, and Brentford also have hit the woodwork.
They have, and Brentford have a throw now down the right-hand side. That substitution for Chelsea has been made. Azpilicueta is off. Reece James is on. The throw coming into the penalty area is headed away. Jensen now flicks the ball back into the box. It's Mbeumo heads it towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Norgard trying to get on the end of it. The referee spotting a foul there against Christian Norgard. Danish international with his doubts about that decision, but Chelsea will be delighted to hear that whistle. Gives them a free kick inside their own penalty area with 45 seconds of play before we hit injury time.
I tell you what, when you look at this game and you look at the stats, it's a difficult game to work out. Brentford have had more shots, certainly more shots on target. Chelsea have had one effort on
for a
target.
second half. 10 shots from Brentford, 5 on target. Chelsea with the 1. Touches in the opposition box, 22 from Brentford and just 2 from Chelsea. And that's with Chelsea still seeing a little bit more of the ball. It's 52% to 48 in terms of the possession stat for this second half. So it really has been a great effort here from the arguably the smallest club in West London in terms of history, but of course very much on the rise now with new owner Matt Benham and manager Thomas Frank. And even if this is going to be a defeat this evening, the Bees can certainly be pleased that they've put on another good show in a live TV game. They've got 4 minutes of injury time now to try and salvage something from this, but it's Chelsea now going forward down the right with Reece James fresh on the field, playing a ball down the right-hand side to another substitute there in Mason Mount, who is stopped by Ethan Pinnock. It's out for a throw to Chelsea now down the right-hand side, and Thomas Tuchel probably thought at half-time that his side were in a very strong position here, but he'll know that his players have been in the game today. Yeah,
they will. I mean, absolutely. It might be bragging rights in West London and all that, but what Brentford fans will say, well, look, you're a charmed life, you lot. We had more efforts on target, we hit the post twice. Who do you think you are, Who knows what the scoreline would have been? They could have played this game 10 times and had 10 different results, but there we go. That's
absolutely, and it's been a day of West London derbies with Fulham hammering QPR in the early Championship game today. Fulham beating QPR by 4-1. And as one Brentford fan described it, the derby where they sing that they don't care about Brentford, but of course that's just with recent years Brentford getting a little bit ahead of their formerly much higher ranked West London neighbours. But in this West London derby in the evening game, really has been a good performance from Brentford in the second half. Chelsea did well in the first, I think, just to control the game. They got the goal at just the right time before half-time. But Brentford on the attack again now as this cross comes in from Rico Henry. It's cleared away back into midfield. Strong header there from Pinnock, but it goes out for a throw. And it will be a throw to Chelsea down the right-hand side. Still around 2.5 minutes of injury time to play. And Edouard Mendy, according to the TV pictures that we're getting, John, is the man of the match. Well, actually, that tells you everything, really, considering that he only had about 3 touches of the ball in the first half.
And he's been beaten twice, and the woodwork's come to his aid. I don't really know what to do with that, but Brentford have given their all, and a lot of time it's about performance, isn't it? I know Fitz in starts, and at times they struggle to get the ball, but I think when they were positive, they've given it a right good go, and I think this might as well remind them that you can be a bit more positive. Here they go again, an opportunity. What
a head strike that is from Norgard, and a fabulous save there from Mendy. Justifying that man of the match label there with that save. He's taken a blow to the face. He's had the woodwork save him twice. He's made last-ditch saves. And Christian Norgard there going for a fabulous strike. That was going under the bar. Mendy tips it onto the bar and away for a corner. Thomas Frank can't believe it. The Brentford fans can't believe it, but it's a corner kick now to the Bees with 90 seconds of injury time still to play, and it's Matthias Jensen, out swinger towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Great header there from Loftus-Cheek. The loose ball drops at the edge of the area. The goalkeeper David Raya will come up for the corner as well. Jensen's second ball into the box. Norgard heads it down. It's up in the air from Loftus-Cheek. It drops to Goros, who really puts his foot through that, but again, third time in a row, the Loftus-Cheek is in the right place at the right time. He deflects that out for a corner. And in the meantime, Reece James looks like he's in a bit of trouble there, John.
Bodies all over the place. We said it was like the Alamo. Honest to goodness, what a siege. Mendy in the form of his life, we mentioned it. There are not many better keepers than him in the Premier League, and he's had the best game I've seen him play. Wowee, that tip over there. The fans behind the goal were celebrating the goal. Norgard's strike was golden, wasn't it? And 9 times out of 10, he's got the equaliser right there with a shot like that. Just unbelievable save, tipping it over. And, Brentford would deserve an equaliser out of this, but Reece James should just come on. They're a little bit worried about him, aren't they? The way he's falling there, he's flat on his back, and they're just cradling his neck at the moment. Let's hope there's nothing bad there. In the meanwhile, Brentford will be just waiting for the play to go on. We're past 94 minutes, but I think there's probably 2 or 3 minutes left to go of this game.
I think so. I think we're going to have a little bit more injury time as a result of this injury to Reece James. It looks like it's either a blow to the face or perhaps a neck injury. They were just a little bit unsure about getting him to sit up. They didn't want him to move his head too much. But he's sat up at least now, and this gives us a chance to see this last chance again. It's when James bumps into the back of Andreas Christensen. Norgard was somewhere in that sandwich as well, but I think it's two Chelsea players colliding together that have got injured there.
Yeah, they've been frantic at the back today, haven't they? They certainly haven't been cool and calm. On another day, they would have conceded, and as brilliant as Mendy's been, like we said, the woodwork's been hit twice. James goes off, and very gingerly, doesn't he? He looks stiff as a board there with his neck. His neck's not moving right well.
But he wants to come straight back on, doesn't he? Because he knows that this is a big opportunity here for Brentford. Referee is now saying that James, I think, can come back on, but we're going to see this throw on from Jorgensen. He launches it towards the edge of the 6-yard box. It's headed away by Chilwell. Back to Jorgensen. Puts a cross in, which gets a deflection. He wants to leave it for a corner. It's not going to happen. He puts another ball in, this time it's a diving header from a Malang Sarr. Puts it out for another throw. And Ethan Pinnock now waiting to take this one. Reece James is back on the field. We've had 90 seconds over the allotted injury time. So you'd imagine there's only 30 seconds to play, really. The ball is played back into the box, headed up in the air, drops inside. Janssen can't get a shot away. Norgard tries a back heel. It might drop through to Janssen. It's cleared back towards the halfway line. And that might be it as far as Brentford's chances are concerned. Raya is out to take the throw here down the left-hand side. He leaves it for Rico Henry. But if the Bees want another chance, they've got it. They're taking too long with this throw. That's 10 seconds where they're Henry just holding the ball. And that might be it. The referee blows for full time. And Thomas Frank's team have put in a good effort this evening. But ultimately, it is Chelsea who win by a 1-0 with that strike from Ben Chilwell. Edouard Mendy with the Man of the Match award for his excellent performance. But that's it for this evening. Thank you very much from myself, Paul Szczerbakowicz and John Hogan. Join us again soon.